Hey everyone, today we're gonna learn how to use the color markers from Ohuhu. In this video, I'm gonna test the markers and show you exactly how to layer them to create this watercolor effect. Before we get started, I want to thank Ohuhu for gifting me these markers, and they also gave me a discount code to share with you for 10% off of their products. You'll find the code and a link in the description of this video together with a list of the colors that I used for this unicorn. Today we're gonna test the water-based markers, and they come in this nice case, which I'm really happy about because I do like to draw in coffee bars and such, and that would be something that I can easily take with me. They have 60 colors in here, and they come of course with a pamphlet with the warnings, and Ohuhu sent us a swatch card from themselves. But I also recommend to use the swatch card that comes with it, because sometimes it also depends on how heavy-handed you are with the colors, so it can differ a little bit from the swatch card. So I just recommend get to know the markers by using these. The markers are double-sided, so on one side they have a brush tip, and that is what I use for the coloring. But what I'm very excited about is that on the other side they have a fine liner tip, and with that fine liner tip we can actually emphasize the line art and give it some more line weight here and there, and that is something that I use a lot in my work, so we're gonna use these as well. I traced my original sketch to watercolor paper because markers with water-based ink are known for peeling the paper. Ohuhu does claim that these markers are paper friendly, but I like to use a lot of layers, so I didn't want to take any risk with this drawing. If you want to color along with me, there is a link to the coloring page of this drawing in the description, together with a list of all the colors that I used. Water-based markers don't blend as easily as alcohol markers do, but they can give a really nice watercolor effect if you layer them correctly, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that in this video. To make the blending more easy, I start by putting down a layer of the Colorless Blender first. We work from light to dark, so we start with the lightest color, in this case the Pastel Blue. We color in the lightest sections a bit larger than intended because they will be surrounded by darker colors that will blend into the light one. Then we switch to the Clematis so we can create some depth. The colors will bleed out a little, so don't color directly on the edges of your drawing. It happens that the ink does flow outside a little bit. Don't worry too much because we can correct a lot when we draw the outline of the drawing in the end. Then we use the Colorless Blender again to blend where the Pastel Blue and the Clematis meet. With the Ultramarine we put down a layer for the darkest areas, and we keep blending the Clematis into that, so we switch back and forth between those colors. And where needed we add more Pastel Blue as well. We also add in some cool grey 2-4 and some black to create the shadows. Don't worry about making it too dark, the contrast will actually benefit the drawing, and in this phase we just need to trust the process. While we let that dry, we are going to work on the mane, but this time we don't want to blend our strokes. In fact, we want our streaks to be visible, so we start with our lightest color and make sure to work in the direction of the hair. While that layer dries, we go back to the head, and with the fine liner tip we emphasize some of the lines and add some detail around the eye. Keep in mind that this is the same ink as the brush, so it's water based as well and will respond the same way. With the fine liner tip of the Pastel Blue we draw the line work of the mane, and with the brush tip of that same color we darken some strands. We blend the both colors together with the Colorless Blender to soften that transition, and we repeat the blues and blend them together as much as needed. For the horn we start with a base layer of powder pink, which has a little bit yellowish tone, and we let that layer dry before going in with the next one. In the meanwhile we'll revisit areas of the drawing that we have already done and layer some more colors into them to give it some more balance and depth. The next color we use in the horn is the Loquat. Make sure to leave the middle of each section open because we're gonna create a golden effect. That needs to dry as well, so again we're going back to other parts of the unicorn. In the mane we also blend in some Cyanine Blue, and we keep in mind to work in the direction of the hair. We use the fine liner of the potato brown to draw the lines of the spirals of the horn, which will create a shadow effect. For the outline of the horn we use the fine liner of the Loquat. We blend in a little more of the pastel blue in the head, and then we're gonna draw the line art with a micron pen. I also add some hatching and cross hatching over the dried layers. That is not mandatory, but I like to bring back some of the sketch. Lastly, we go in with a white gel pen to add some highlights in the middle of each horn section, a reflection in the eye, and we also draw a couple of lines in the mane. And that's it for this unicorn, and now I'm going to give you my end conclusion about these markers. I do enjoy working with them, but I do think it's important to have the right paper for them. I used watercolor paper and it didn't peel at all, and I did have a lot of layers in especially the head. I do find that the markers that blend more difficult than the alcohol markers blend, but I used the Colorless Blender underneath, and that actually really helped me to create this watercolor effect. What I really like about the markers is that they have the fine liner tip, so you can create some extra lines and details. But keep in mind that the ink for the fine liner part is water-based as well, and it will feather a bit and it will blend. So especially around the eye, don't go entirely towards the line, but keep a little bit of distance because it will blend a little bit out. At the end I did use a micron marker because you can use that one over water-based ink and to give it a nice crisp line here and there, and to bring back some of the line art and the hatching. But that's just a design choice because the hatching is my style. And I also added some white gel pen when all layers were dry to bring back some highlights. But overall the colors are very vibrant. I like how they work. They are indeed paper friendly, but like I said, you need to use the right type of paper, because if I would use this in my sketchbook, it will still peel the paper, but yeah, that's just because my sketchbook is not suitable to hold these kinds of markers. But yes, I'm happy with them. So thank you, Ohuhu, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you with the next one. Bye!